Get this, an AI tool just single-handedly tanked the cybersecurity market. But believe me, that was just the beginning. We've combed through over 2,100 news articles from the last 24 hours to bring you the stories that matter. Today we're tracking the seismic shockwaves from a totally new type of AI, plus a surprise court ruling that just reset global trade, and why your next phone might be spying on people who are spying on you. Okay, let's boot up the bulletin.
First up, the big one. This new thing, Agentic AI, is storming the enterprise world, but security is, well, it's not even close to keeping up. And here's the proof. An AI tool from Anthropic just launched and immediately triggered a massive cybersecurity sell-off. We'll get into why in a bit.
In consumer tech, fresh leaks of the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra seem to confirm a new kind of privacy display is on the way. Pretty cool.
Meanwhile, on the world stage, the U.S. Supreme Court just blocked key Trump-era tariffs, and it's thrown global supply chains into absolute chaos.
And no surprise here, OpenAI is doubling down on business. They're partnering with major consulting firms to push their AI tools way beyond the pilot phase. And yeah, the fallout continues. Data breaches are surging. And guess what? Attackers are now weaponizing AI to do it. Apple is gearing up for a huge multi-product launch. The rumor mill says new AI-powered wearables are going to be the star of the show. Over in the gaming world, Xbox has a new leader who's vowing no tolerance for bad AI, and you guessed it, a big return to exclusive titles. Geopolitically, keep an eye on India and the Gulf region. They're emerging as serious players, pouring tons of investment into their own sovereign AI ecosystems.
And finally, a little bump in the road for hardware. AMD is pushing the release of its next-gen Zen 6 CPUs all the way back to 2027. Ouch!
Okay, let's unpack our first big story, the big shift. We are literally witnessing a fundamental change in what AI does. You see, it's moving from just answering our questions to actually taking action for us. And as those headlines just showed, this transition is anything but smooth. So what is this agentic AI we're even talking about? Well, it means autonomous systems. Think of it like this. You don't just ask it to find flight options, you tell it to book your entire vacation, and it just does it. It can understand a high-level goal, break it down into steps, and then go execute those steps in the real world, all on its own. Here's the best way to wrap your head around the difference. Generative AI, like ChatGPT, is your assistant. You give it a command, it spits out a response. But agentic AI, that's an actor. You give it a goal like plan my business trip to Tokyo, and it just goes off and does the whole thing, books the flights, reserves the hotel, manages your calendar. See the difference? It doesn't just respond, it acts. And this really gets to the core of the problem right now. A recent analysis in Forbes put it perfectly. AI agents are becoming enterprise actors, and most companies aren't ready. And folks, this isn't some far-off theory. Remember that cybersecurity market crash we mentioned? That was triggered by an Anthropic tool that could autonomously mess with codebases. It basically exposed just how unprepared our entire security infrastructure is for an AI that doesn't just talk, but actually does things. All right, now let's follow the money. Because while AI was shaking up the software world, a court ruling was doing the exact same thing to global hardware. So, the U.S. Supreme Court just blocked those Trump-era tariffs, sending total shockwaves through the market. But it's not just hardware getting hit. At the exact same time, IBM stock plummeted 10% after Anthropic launched an AI that automates a huge part of their legacy business. From trade policy to AI tools, this is what real-time market disruption looks like. So, who's winning and who's losing in all this? The economic sentiment really tells the story. You can see it's a clear win for manufacturing hubs like China and India. But then look at the EU. Trade talks with the US are now frozen, creating some serious uncertainty. And in the US, it's a total mixed bag, which is just fueling volatility for any company that relies on those global supply chains.
Now, these huge shifts in AI and trade aren't happening in a vacuum. They're creating a massive ripple effect that's touching pretty much everyone. So let's break down how today's news is changing the game for different groups.
For big companies, it's a real mixed bag. On one hand, they have access to these incredibly powerful new AI agents. But on the other, they're facing massive security risks and supply chain headaches. For you and me, the consumers, it's largely positive. We get new phones, better AI features. But for investors, the move is definitely cautious. All the volatility from both the tariff ruling and that AI security scare has them on edge.
The big takeaway here is that every ounce of new opportunity is tangled up with significant new risk.
Okay, let's pull back to the global view. Because these trends aren't just creating ripples, they are redrawing the entire map of technological power, from Silicon Valley all the way to Bangalore.
Here's the play-by-play. In the US, the story is all about market volatility, driven by both AI risks and trade policy. The EU? They're kind of stuck in a holding pattern, with trade talks paused. China gets a huge economic win from the tariff ruling, which really positions them as a major hardware player. And India's playing this masterfully. They're capitalizing on all the trade shifts while pushing their own sovereign AI initiatives. It's like a global chess match, and every single piece is in motion.
So, what's the playbook here? If you're an enterprise leader, you need to accelerate AI agent integration, but triple down on security like yesterday. For developers, the game has changed. Your job now is to build with AI, not try to compete against it. Investors, forget the old metrics. Your new focus has to be regulation, tariffs, and AI governance are the new market drivers. And for all you startup founders out there, the gold rush is in building niche, secure AI agents that solve one problem perfectly.
Which leaves us with one final and kind of scary question for the future. As these autonomous AI agents become our new digital coworkers, who's ultimately accountable? Who gets the final say when one of them makes a costly, irreversible mistake? That's the question everyone, from the boardroom to the courtroom, is going to be asking next. For more tech news and bites like this, be sure to visit newsbite.tech.